welcome to The Breakthrough. I'm Lou.
Clara, Miss C.
And this week we have Lawrence as our guest.
Hey. Hey.
I've been so excited to get you in. Pinning this man down has been difficult because, and every time I start getting, I'm like, oh my God, why won't he give me I go like, Lou, remember?
He's a daddy.
He's a daddy and he's a present father. Lawrence is, I was saying to you earlier, I benchmark you when we talk about present fathers, present husbands, I benchmark you
Right.
all the time.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, I was saying to you like off camera, I was like, I need to sit down. When someone gives my flowers, I need to sit there. So I'm going to say to you, thank you for that.
Yes,
and that's really,
Lawrence.
that means a lot to hear that from you. Yeah, no.
And you know, remember, like, I know you, but I don't know you. But I know enough of you and I see
That's
enough
what
of
I
you
said earlier. I
know
said
that.
I know you, but I don't. Yeah, you're right.
And the thing is, when you mark off on a list what you want from a husband, Lawrence ticks more or less all those boxes. He's thoughtful. I've seen you with your wife. I know that you think about your wife. I know that you think about what's going to make her happy. You think about ways to ease her day, ways to manage her load. But it's not in a, oh, I'm just trying to help my wife. You're doing it for the betterment of your family and for the growth of your relationship with your wife. I don't think a lot of people have that insight, especially in today's society where it's simping. You get called a simp, quite frankly, which I think is
I love that simping.
If you can't simp for your wife, who can you simp for?
It's so true. The narrative is a bit warped.
How do you push past against that? Or does that not even come into your thought process at all?
Doesn't come to my thought process.
Yes, look at
To be honest, you go, you know, a wolf doesn't, is it a lion, a wolf, whatever it is, allow the opinion of sheep to actually shape your thoughts. And first of all, thank you for that. I hope Sheridan make sure she watched this. In all seriousness, it's not something that naturally happened.
Okay.
In terms of like, you know what, I want to be a vulnerable person for my wife, you know, I want to be there to support her. It's actually a growth thing. And like, we're going to be married 10 years in August, you know, and we've been together since we were 17, so 23 years together. And you actually...
giving your flowers there, big time.
You actually grow. And if you look at 17-year-old Lawrence versus, you know, nearly 40-year-old Lawrence, it's completely different. You go on that journey. And so to go back to your kind of question of like, it's my duty to be there for my wife. Like I take that as something that is personal and it's my mindset and my mission. Anything I do and who I'm trying to become and the betterment of myself is for my family, so for my wife and for my son. I don't play with those things. I don't play with them, and that's something where it takes time, you know, because ultimately when you're living in like London, the hustle and bustle of life, you don't see people as much. It's your family unit. So why wouldn't I want to make our life easier and everything we do? And the main thing is we're a team. That's as simple as that.
To add to that, is it, Lawrence, why do you have that mindset? And I understand you're saying, you know, you would, you know, younger 17-year-old, you know, is a different person totally. But is it through watching your parents? What's shaped you to think that way? To look at your relationship and to want to be that husband, father?
I think I wouldn't say so much my parents, and that's not me, I'm shading my parents at all. I think growing up, I realized what they wanted to do, but weren't able to do because of their circumstances is like they were working long periods of time, you know, and like my relationship with my dad is like up there now. Yeah. And I think that comes more kind of my side of like that empathy piece because an arrogance when you are growing up of like, oh, just do this, just do that. But actually you don't know what they're carrying. Yep. So going back to kind of like what you were saying in terms of, you know, what's made me want to do that is I'm a lifelong learner. I don't think you stop learning, and I'm learning how to be a better husband, a better man, a better friend in general. That is kind of my mindset. How can I do better?
That resonates with me because that's my mindset. It's to be better, growing daily. You got to put in the work. You're doing the work every day. Every day. It never stops.
So you're you sound like you're both very intentional.
Oh, yeah. But you know that, Lou. Yeah. I'm you know, definitely. So that is... I get that. Understand that.
Okay, so touching on your parents, let's go back to the beginning. Okay, so what were you like growing up? Tell me about your family. Tell me about your siblings. Tell me about your parents. Set the scene.
Boy, where do you start? So growing up, can I cuss?
Yeah, of course you can. Absolutely.
I was a little shit. Let me be honest. I probably wasn't the most straightforward son.
Okay.
How so? Just got into trouble, you know. Yeah. I got into trouble. Like I was always that kind of person who was smart enough and knew the peripheral. So kind of let me just set the scene. I went to a school in Elephant and Castle. I won't name it because it's not fair on them. And,
not fair on the school.
Just put it this way. Every time like I speak to people, even now on my journey, and they know the school, I say, yeah, I went there. They're like, almost like they look sorry for you. Like, what?
Like, really?
Like, how did you get out of the house to come here? But yeah, again, to my mum, shout out to my mum, is that she knew she was not happy with that school, and it was shaping me. Like I said, it was an Elephant and Castle, and she made it her mission to get me into another school. Mm-hmm. So I moved schools in year 9, and it was it was the best decision then. But I wasn't interested in education. Mm-hmm. Like was just like ran around with the wrong crowd. But like I said, you always knew when to step back. I wasn't a peripheral. So like I'm not going to say I was affiliated or anything like that. But you know, like I was that guy who knew people. You see what I mean?
That's the balance.
Just that, he sounds like Tarico.
Yeah, that's the balance.
That's my son. But he's but carry on. Yeah, that you know when to step away. I know you, but I'm not in that kind of.
And is that
circle.
Because at some point your Nigerian parents click into your head and you're like, I don't want it that badly?
Do you know what? It's again, they were very keen on like they did amazing in terms of like trying to instill certain standards in me, and actually as a man, that's where it starts to come back, the kind of basics and foundations. Yeah. I got into trouble, and then went to, I can name the school because it's all part of the journey. Went to a school called St. Michael's in Bermondsey, and that was a Catholic school, and by then, year 9, I already developed like kind of like the bad habits of like, not working, not studying.
Yeah.
So it was inevitable that I was going to fail my GCSEs. But for some reason, I was still shocked when I got my results. I had done no work. Nothing, I even tried to trick myself. Yeah, I'm going to go to sleep, wake up at 12 and then study.
Didn't work.
Yeah. It goes back to this actually on that, I think, because that was the changing point for me. I remember the night before, everyone's nervous. Do you remember getting your GCSEs? Like people nervous and going there. I'm laying up my clothes the night before.
Thinking you're going to get some bad boy grades.
Thinking like, I'm going to look good when I'm going in.
Yeah, I'm going to look good, bro. I'm going to go get my exams that I didn't study for.
Exactly. But again, I was thinking that. So I go there, and I remember walking in going, yo, you're going to be good, man. Don't worry. No stress. Don't stress. I'm telling other people,
wait, Lawrence.
Don't stress. Don't stress. And these are people that have worked hard. I don't even know stress, So I get in there, like doing that. Yeah, don't worry, man. You're good. Yeah. Now, this is how like deluded I was. So get my results, open them up. Someone comes over, yo, Lawrence, what you got to say? Mind your business. I look at them and like, yo, why are there so many F's and G's and things? I'm like, this sound like, like wrestling back in the day, like DDE, whatever the thing was. I'm like, whoa.
So you were genuinely shocked?
I was shocked.
But you didn't study.
I know, but I was still shocked. I was still shocked. So I only passed drama and IT. Like everything else I flopped. Like
that's interesting.
And that's interesting in terms of kind of career.
That is.
Both of them actually.
But I think this is where it kind of changed in terms of my work ethic and mindset. And
before you move on, can I just ask you how you felt in that moment?
I felt embarrassed. Like I felt embarrassed because the same people that I was playing about with and, in class,
they were studying.
They were going home and studying. The thing is, I didn't know that. I was going home and still being the clown, and I felt embarrassed. And I think this will connect to kind of like the bit. So you get your results, and I remember just like not running out of school, but moving out of school kind of quickly. And I'm like, yo, these are my results, And I remember just walking by Tower Bridge. And then it dawns on me, damn, I need to go and tell mum. You know?
Are you the eldest?
Yeah, I'm the eldest. Yeah. So I was like, yeah. So I need to go and tell mum. And like, bearing in mind, what makes it even worse, is my mum was paying for me to go Saturday school.
Oh no, for extra lessons.
For extra lessons. And even then, I was truant in Saturday school.
Oh,
yeah, like that. That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
Then.
So I'm like, I've got to tell mum. And like, mum was working 2 jobs. And I got home and I thought, you know what, I've missed her because she's gone to the thing.
Yeah.
And she's sitting in the front room. It's dark.
And she knew Jesus, right?
It was like it was like some movie. Like it was dark, and then like you come in, the light comes on, and she's like, "Hello, Dari." Yeah, like she called me like full light.
Yep.
I've been calling you. You didn't pick up. I'm like, oh, have you? So
see, what happened was,
So then she was like, "How were your results?" So I give them to her, and I jump back.
I was
because my mum's got some fast hands. Yeah, like honestly, Manny Pacquiao ain't got nothing to but nothing. Like silence. And like, my mum like loves to talk. Like she's one of those mums like when she starts like it's like actually just smack me, man, just get over and done with.
Yeah, just do it. Yeah.
But she nothing. So then I look closer. And I can just see tears coming down her eyes. And I'm like, whoa, like what's going on here? And then still silence. And I'm like, Mum, say something. And these words literally land with me. She was like, I failed you.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, whoa. Like I'm the one, like
that's
you said,
giving me goosebumps.
The thing is that I've done no work.
Yeah.
But it's me. But she's saying I failed you. I said, no, Mum. No, it's me,
Yeah.
And she's like, no. My duty as your mother
I get it.
is to make sure you have a better life than me. I came to this country to ensure my family. And that's when it dawned on me, it isn't just about me.
You.
And people are investing in me. So that's when I said to her, you know what, Mum, promise you, I'm going to go back to college and I'm going to resit my GCSEs and I'm going to smash it. And that was, I think, when people talk about how did you transition from Dick Lawrence to actually more aware about it's not just about you.
Yeah, like that moment.
It was in that moment. And she will never know kind of like how powerful those words that she dropped to me kind of changed my trajectory in terms of what I was going to do next.
Wow. Wow, that is.
Hey.
That is.
So tell me about, so you've touched on your mum. Did you have a present father?
Yeah, so my dad's been around like since I was a kid. So like he's not.
Your parents still together?
He's still together, yeah. So my dad isn't my biological dad.
Okay.
But he's my dad.
Yeah. I hear you. He's your dad.
He's been around since like literally I was 3.
Oh, but there you go, he's your dad.
Because I was in foster care. Yeah. So I actually lived in Havant and Waterloo for the first couple of years of my life.
Were you born here? Or were you born
I was born here. But like, it was just mum working and everything and stuff like that. Yeah, so I was in foster care and like I grew up with my white family, Kathy and Dave.
You still in touch?
No, unfortunately, not in touch. But yeah, and I don't say it as like those years I enjoyed. Like we had a garden, I had an electric car.
Yeah, I was good.
Good. Saw mum, on the weekends and stuff like that.
Do you know? Can I just add? And that's kind of nice to hear because I guess sometimes you think, I was in foster care. You instantly, I think you and I both kind of went, that type of thing. But actually,
I did say, but actually, I've got another friend who. It's been a great experience.
Yeah, and that's so it's good to hear that because it's not all bad experiences.
100%. And the reason why I dropped that is because, and I say my dad is my dad. Like, like I call the other guy a sperm donor.
Yes, it's true. I was going to say that.
He is my dad, When I was when he met my mum, because he met my mum when I was in foster care, he's the one who said, you know what, bring this guy back. Bring this guy back. He said, bring this guy back,
Is your dad Nigerian as well?
Yeah, Nigerian as well, yeah. He was like, bring this guy back, And so that's why, I say that's my dad. I've got love and respect for him for everything he's done. 100%, 100%,
Yeah.
So they're still together now. Yeah.
Amazing. So it's so beautiful.
Okay. So my next question is going to feel a bit left field because we haven't touched on it at all since we started. But I wanted to ask you, do you remember, and I've just asked you before we started, the first time you had a seizure?
Yeah, I got diagnosed with epilepsy in college, and that became a part of like where I was angry at the world because I remember I failed.
And you were how old, Lawrence?
16, so 16.
Okay, cool.
So remember, I failed my GCSEs. I've gone back,
and you're working your.
I'm working my ass off, and then boom, that hits, and it happens. Yeah, and I can actually go back to the exact day. So I was doing a double shift at Marks and Spencer.
You're a proper good boy. You're working hard.
Exactly.
I was on it. So doing a double shift at Marks and Spencer. It was Christmas Eve. I come home. We're watching Star Wars, me and my brother. Don't judge me. I like a Star Wars.
Star Wars is okay, fine.
So watching that, and I just remember not feeling great, but I just thought, it's I've worked hard.
You're tired.
Double shift, And then I remember just at the bottom of our tower block, because grew up in an estate, waking up and seeing flashing lights and going, oh, I hope that person's okay. But not realizing it was me that was going to hospital, And then I remember waking up on Christmas Day in hospital, and I just remember going, I'm like, this awful smell. And it was this homeless guy who was next to me, and he's just singing Jingle Bells, Jingle Bells.
Jingle Bells all the way.
And the way I was just baffled.
Why am I going on? Yeah.
And the next day, we're not quite sure what happened. They think it's this. And then, I remember just going through the process of getting diagnosed with it. Then I remember having seizures at college and being quite embarrassed about it.
That was going to be the next question.
And I was just I remember people always used to get baffled because they would be like, Lawrence, are you okay? If they saw me the next day or whatever, I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
Don't ask me nothing. I'm good. And you can see the bafflement on the face, why is he not talking about it? So when I was 16 is when I had my first seizure on Christmas Eve. Yeah.
Cool. How did you've touched on college? And not want to talk about it, but how did that navigate relationships? Did that interrupt your friendships with your friends or anything like that? Did that make it awkward for you or for them?
I think people didn't know how to approach the subject because I would just shut it down. I didn't really speak to people about the diagnosis part because, as you know, Lou, is that when you are diagnosed with epilepsy, it's not straightforward of going, okay, right, here's your medication. It's trial and error to find the right chemical balance.
And then the dosage.
And your body just adapts to that. And it was in a difficult time because, believe it or not, I was still growing. I haven't grown that much, but I was still growing. So I'm trying to get the right medication. It wasn't straightforward and easy.
And how long did your diagnosis take?
It was quite quick because I was still considered a child at 16. It was quite in and out, and the St. Thomas team were absolutely amazing. I had a fantastic consultant called Dr. Andrews, who we built up a friendship because she's been my consultant for my whole life. So she's seen me grow, and
up to this day.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
And she's had some brutal conversations with me because one of the most stupidest things I did is I didn't take my medication because the reason why I didn't want to take it is. I didn't want to admit it just became, if I took the medication, it became real.
And I think that answers the question where
how did it land?
Yes, how did it land when you were told it was epilepsy? Exactly, that's understanding for real.
Did you even know what epilepsy was?
I knew it was something from watching Casualty.
Okay.
Yeah, do you remember Casualty?
Saturday night.
Where it was photosensitive. And everyone always thinks that's the one. So anytime I tell people that I've got epilepsy, they're like, oh, the lights. And I'm like, no, there's tons of different types. And I didn't know that. That's what I didn't know. Because when they first told me, I was like, so I'm going to be that guy, and at the beginning of a film, they go, this film has strobe lighting effect. And I thought, I can't do that. And then it wasn't that. And my epilepsy is idiopathic epilepsy. Now, when you hear that, it sounds so like this big word and everything.
Yeah.
Basically, they don't know what triggers it.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. You too.
Yeah.
Originally, it was primary generalized.
Mm-hmm.
I think they've changed the wording to idiot.
Yeah.
But literally, we don't know. We can't figure out. Your brain wasn't firing off when we did the MRI, so we can't tell.
But in the years I've known you,
I've had plenty of seizures. Yeah.
I love this,
You've
but
just not told me.
I've
I
had
love this,
plenty of
but
seizures.
you see that there's
not told
rafflement
me.
between these two. Like.
You've just not told me.
Do you know what Dominic would
And
have
how do you feel her not telling you? Sorry, I know it's not my
Yeah,
podcast.
no, go.
Because you look really shocked. I can see you just going.
Yeah, because I want to know
More so early
that she's
2000s.
okay. Do you know what I mean? That she's early 2000s. I allow her. It's all right.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's like I didn't know you that deep then. Now that I know you, it's like
So we're just keeping secrets, are we?
Yeah, this is the thing because we generally we share. Do you know what I
But
mean?
also, to me, they've never been. I sound like a psycho. They've never been a big deal, as in.
And that's the thing with
but
you.
I also do feel like it's different for men and women, especially growing up as teenagers. As in, I can almost lean into it a little bit more. It doesn't affect my femininity or how I'm perceived.
Yeah.
If anything, I'm more of a damsel in distress.
Yeah,
whereas I think it's a complete. I can't even imagine what it's like for a 16-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Navigating.
Yes.
oh yeah, because you start to feel like, yo, am I weaker than that
Yeah,
person?
exactly.
I watched something recently where a boy, 16, 17, same thing happened. He had a seizure, I think it was in a movie, and his friends looking at him funny on the floor, but he didn't want to talk. And then he wet himself as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So his friends did not want to talk about it. So.
Yeah, I think my friends were more like, because I shut it down.
He didn't want to talk about it to his friends. His friends were asking, but he wasn't
But same thing,
acknowledging
I shut it down. And I probably became hypersensitive to anyone, as you used to say back in the day, trying it. Just in general. Just in trying it. And that's where that kind of thing like, well, are you disrespecting me?
Yeah,
it might be like they're not, but you're
That's
just
added another layer for you.
You just become hypersensitive to it because you're like, you know what? I can go toe to toe with you.
Yeah, don't ever think it's weakness.
No one. And I think there was already elements of that from when you come from that estate, you are getting hypersensitive, and you have to unlearn that because you are taught, and I get in the environment that you're growing up in, is that don't be a victim.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So you become like really,
chip on your shoulder.
You see what I mean? Like you're like, you're not going to talk to me about that.
You're rigid in certain things. 100%. Absolutely.
And like when we get to that, like that's something I had to like learn how to navigate in the corporate world and how to drop.
Were you angry? Would you add anger to that? Maybe even like?
Oh yeah,
absolutely. Do you know what I mean?
I was angry. Like I said, like I really felt like God was testing me. And like, look, I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm trying to do this, and this is happening to me now, really. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't have the skills. I keep on saying, I didn't talk to my friends and X, Y, and Z. I didn't have the skills on how to talk to my friends and open up. And again, that's something I've learned over the last couple of years.
That makes sense.
Sure, a lot of young black men, and I can only speak to black men because obviously I didn't grow up around white men, are given the skill set to open up at such a young age and it not be seen as a weakness. I think that's more something that millennials are now grasping about. It's okay to talk to your friends. It's okay to be vulnerable. But I don't think we were given a space.
Yeah, I think I'd even step back. I don't even think it's young men per se. I think it's a generation of us who aren't taught that.
Oh, absolutely.
To communicate,
Yeah. Girls, and I agree with that. Yeah, you're right, Lawrence. No, I'm just adding to it. You're right.
With your son, for instance, even we spoke earlier, and you give him the space, even at 3 years old, to communicate how he's feeling. And you, as an adult, do not take offense if it's something you do not necessarily want to hear. And also, just because I didn't like it doesn't necessarily mean what you said was wrong.
Do you know what? And I'm going to be completely transparent on that. It's hard.
It's hard.
because you're balancing off, right, what you've grown up. I come from a Nigerian household, like you dare ask someone.
But everything's rude in Nigerian household.
But it's like, you say, why? You see what I mean? What do you mean, why? I'll give you something, why?
Yeah.
And don't get it twisted. I sit down there and I'm like, oh man, this new age parenting is quite hard.
Oh my gosh.
So, you know, like when you're going, there's this thing I watched on YouTube and it was just like, you should speak to them. I think it was Miss Rachel. And I remember going to him, are you having a big feeling? And I'm sitting there going, yo, this ain't me, man.
And it's almost a picture of that and showed us the 16 years of you. And like, really?
But
yeah.
it's a balance for me of like, you want them to be able to express themselves.
Can I just add to that? Sorry, your son's 3, my son's 25.
And you still struggle with it?
And Lawrence, I still have to do that. And then there's times when it's like, but Mum, you're not listening, but you're not considering my feelings. I'm like, yo. So even as adults, as you're saying, I've had to learn and relearn and change how I communicate with my kids and take out this hold of how we were raised. Because like you said, it's a whole generation, right?
Yeah.
So it's, what? Am I a shit mum then? Or who are you talking to? You can't talk to me like that. I'm your mum. But it's like, actually, he's a human being. I've had to learn. He's his human being. He's got his own feelings, his own person. He's got his own experiences of how he experiences things. So I really can't take offense when he wants to tell me, well,
you're
Mum,
allowing
I didn't.
the space for that.
And that's the thing. So I've had to learn to allow the space for that.
But equally, what I would say, and I love that, but there's also boundaries. Don't get it twisted.
Oh, no, there's boundaries.
There are certain things that I don't play with.
Same.
You see what I mean? Like, and I go back to, we touched on it a bit.
I'll still pump you up in your feet. Do you know what I mean? Like,
but I think it goes back to the basic. You know, we're talking about parents, like, you don't realise, oh, actually, you know, I go back to it. That thing about home training. Like, I used to hear that. I used to hear it. Like, oh, you don't have home training. How many times you look at it and you see someone talking like, you don't have no home training.
Yeah.
And I don't like. So it goes back to like the simple things that I repeat with him. Like, I know my son is only 3, but when I call him, it's not
It's yes, daddy.
It's yes, daddy.
Yes.
It's when I give you something. Thank you. When you ask for something, please.
Yeah.
And those things, I believe, are the foundation. So it's annoying that I have to keep on doing it, but I will keep on doing it.
Never stop. Just so you know, you never stop.
Yeah, but I think it's 100% because me as an adult, that's one of the first things when we're doing business negotiations, is like actually how polite he is and how and stuff like that. But you take it as a given, like this just came. But when you think about it as a parent now, you go, actually, that's what mum and dad always used to say to me. And that's actually something that I will continue in. And it's also what I'm learning as a parent is like, there's this new stuff, but we shouldn't dispel everything the old way. Because they've been able to bring up kids as well. So it's about finding your way with your child.
Balance is true.
And also, for me, not perpetuating things that I didn't like. And by that, I mean, my mum never said sorry. Like, never said sorry. And I remember the first...
But she give you food though, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
and then she get angry when you don't want it. But she get angry when you don't want it. Because you just cursed me out. Talking about come and have food. I don't want you stinky food.
But you know, but the thing is, don't we talk about like, you know, in relationships, love language? That's African people.
Yeah. I fed you, right? You got a roof over your head.
I'm not going to go to you, I'm sorry, but you know what? Oh, you're hungry, come and eat.
Yeah,
or you
it's
need
true.
this.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and this is what I'm saying. This is why sometimes, you have to give your parents the respect. Like, they're trying their best with what they know.
Do you know what?
I ain't gonna lie, my big age, but there was a day when my mum, I've told you this story before, she was shouting at me. This is how you know I got good kids, because you shout at them when a vase gets moved. A vase. She's like, I know it was you, Kems. I know it was you. No. My sister walks in the room. What's all the palaver? Kemi's moved the vase. I said, oh, no, I did it. I was cleaning her. She just rounded on her. I know it was you. I knew. And I'm just stood there. And it was the first day that I've ever experienced chest pain, because you can't talk back to your parents. And it was the first, I was 15, and it was the first I experienced chest pains, and it was rage.
Bless you.
It was rage.
Yeah, because you're like, you're not even going to apologise.
You're not going to apologise to me. And in that moment, I was like, I'm going to apologise to my kids. That was my response. It was, I'm going to apologise to my kids. So I do, even at 2, even at 3, if I make a miss, sorry, baby. Sorry, baby. It takes nothing to say, sorry, baby, my bad, I got that wrong. And a lot of time, my kids are a bit older, they're 15. So you might not get sorry, but you get, oh, my bad.
No, do you know what? It's true. And even talking about like home training, what you said, my kids, single mom, you know, their dad never really was there up until they were like 5 or 7. But one thing I remember and I really love is when people say to me, your children have got manners.
Yeah, it's proud.
I always tell my kids, I said, when you go out on the road, you better respect your elders, treat people with respect. Even your peers, treat them with respect. You know, so that's 100%. One thing. They would go to people's houses and it's like, class, your kids are really well mannered. Thank you. Communication, we have gotten, and in 2026 with young boys that we're saying, I've got open communication with my kids.
I think it's important, man. I always want Zeke to be in a position like he can come and speak to me, no matter what age he is.
Oh, absolutely.
You know? So if he's messed up, he needs to understand, that I will love him and we'll work it through together. Yeah. And I will also hold you to account.
Oh, standard.
You see what I mean? And that's going to be fine, but come and speak to me. So kind of going to that, like, with my son, I try and have that open communication, even at 3.
No,
it is.
I think we can minimise age. I think 3 is If we don't start now,
that's the foundation. Exactly, you're setting it. But it's even like you're saying about parents. When my son was at uni, he didn't want to go to uni. He'd always said he's going to go to uni, wanted to be a lawyer. My younger one. My older one, not really into academic, he's more music, loves DJ. So he's a DJ, great DJ doing what he's doing. But Tarika was always very much, I want to go to uni, be a lawyer. Anyway, went to uni, but he didn't like it. But he was scared to tell me that he didn't want to go to uni because he thought it's what I wanted for him. Because it's like, well, Mum, I don't want to let you down.
Yeah.
And when we had the conversation, I was like, no. It is about you. It's your life. You know what I mean? Don't feel like you have to do something because, oh, Mum wants me to do it. So I really appreciate that. I can be that parent. It's just like there's no pressure. I can't. Yes, he was scared to tell me, but he told me in the end. And we have got, I'm not your owner. I'm not your keeper. I'm your mum. I'm going to support you, like you said, and I'm going to love you, and we can work things through together. And there's times I'm going to leave you to go and make your own mistakes.
Yeah.
So you learn.
Yeah. And you know what? I had an interesting conversation with a friend just literally last week, and just like I've done well in life, and we're doing well, me and my wife. And there was something he said to me that kind of landed for me is that sometimes, because we didn't have stuff, we try to give them everything. And not everything we think is good is actually good for our children.
Absolutely.
And I was like, you know what? I let that breathe. And I was like, yeah, that lands. Because, sometimes they need to go through the hard choices.
Yeah.
They need to make their mistakes, you know? And it's that bit of like, I need to do this, is stop doing this, is I can see Zeke doing something and default Superman comes in. And I don't need to be the superhero of the story.
I've learned that.
And just actually, you know what? He's going to need to fall down.
Yeah.
But he's going to know that I'm there to come to me. And I think it's giving them that space to actually fail. And I think for young people, I think failing is important.
Yep.
Getting them to open up to that thing of failing is really important from a young age, because some people only get it later on in their life. And because they haven't had the skills of that, they actually just crumble.
Yeah. All right. So going back to your diagnosis, did it change your plans at all for yourself? So in that moment of diagnosis, okay, you're dealing with how it makes you feel. You're dealing with, still navigating being a teenager, hormones, growing up. But you still had your plan. Originally, your plan was, I am going to boss my GCSEs and I'm going to boss my A-levels. Did that derail you in any way?
No, it didn't derail me at all, if anything. Like I said, it annoyed me. I was angry, but it made me resolute that I was going to keep on this journey and that this is just another setback, and we'll overcome it.
And I think that makes sense because, yes, fair enough, you hadn't had the diagnosis, but having what Mum said to you that she failed you in the moment when you saw that she saw your results, you said that was the moment you were like, I'm going to go back and I'm going to do this. So because to me, it sounds like that was such a letting your mum down, so to speak, of, that was the moment that she said that to you and it really resonated. It really hit home hard. So it's impressive that you stayed resolute. You stayed, exactly.
I hadn't thought about it like that, and literally until you said it now. And I suppose that's something that I would say is that stick to the mission.
Yeah.
You can change the direction that you want to go in, but the mission and the aim target doesn't change.
And that's my point. Exactly.
And I hadn't thought of it like that. So maybe that was the resolute I had made, that promise I had, and I think it's also with just being exposed to failure very early on and being at GCSE, not getting them is like kind of like, now you keep on going. Yeah. Like this is a setback, but you keep on going, So yeah.
Cool. I never got my GCSEs because I was in between leaving home, so I never did very well. Imagine the stress.
And look where you are now.
This is what I'm saying. It's just like, but I'm
going to ask you this question because I know this story. But obviously I'd love my viewers to hear. How did you meet your wife?
Hey.
So I met Sheridan at college, and again, I'm one of those people that have got stories for days.
Love that, love it.
So we went to SFX, and I remember just like, this girl, she's fine. She's fine. Yeah, so I went over to her, started speaking to her, like, leaning in, like that, leaning into her, like, voice drop low, like. So what are you saying? Yeah.
What you saying?
Yeah. And just talking to her. I remember just looking at her. She looked at me, just going, and then went back, spoke to her again another time because some of my boys were in the same class as her. But anyway, spoke to her again. And then like she gave me a bit more conversation time and she goes, what are you studying? Oh. I'm like, huh? Like, why is she asking?
Yeah, what about studying?
I'm trying to study you. Like,
Bars.
So I'm like, why is she asking me that? But like, that was her mindset. Like, she was very much in that whole kind of thing. So I must have gone, GCSEs. Like, and she goes, what?
At
like,
college?
Yeah, at college. I was like, and she's like, what? She goes, people do that in this college. I'm like, wow.
She was not playing.
But then again, what I would say is, even that interaction showed me almost like, like when you're around certain people, they will hold you to certain standards. And actually showed me there's a different standard as well of like you're trying to achieve. And just literally on that whole kind of thing coming into college is, for the first time, because I went to when the school that I went to in year 9, it was predominantly a white school. Mm-hmm. So there were 120 people in our year group, and there were only 14 black people. Ooh. So there were 7 girls and 7 boys. Don't know if that's been designed, but I remember when we were sitting, for lunch. Yeah, you can only sit 6 people on the table. Yeah. You see that other chair. You see on the corner, like, on the chair. Yeah, but going to SFX again changed my mindset because I saw more black people, but doing well. Talking about like, okay, they're going off to uni, they're going off to do an apprenticeship.
Aiming high.
Like the bits that I was exposed to were the small circle of people, and I wasn't in the top set. Some of them were in the top set, so I would only see them at lunch and break time. And then just from my estate, a lot of people weren't doing well. So actually seeing that and seeing people like me studying their books was like, actually, it's not a sneaky thing. Yeah. So that was a game changer combined with speaking to Sheridan. Yeah. So she actually had me in the friend zone for a whole year.
Love that.
Like literally,
if she was going to tell that particular part of the story, what would she say? How would she tell it?
She would say the same thing. She would say she was in the friend zone.
What was she doing? Was she friend zoning you on purpose? Was she trying to just watch you a little bit?
On purpose, man.
She was making him work.
Yeah, she was like friend zone, and she kept in the friend zone, but she actually we became really good friends. And I say this to people now, it's like, they say to me, what's the whole thing about how long you've been together? Yeah. I was like, the biggest thing was that actually we were friends for a whole year and we got to know each other. And she actually helped me with my resets. She was helping me with like reset English, reset maths, and going through it.
Exactly.
But I remember it was that classic kind of woman moment, right? Yeah. And let me not generalize. Let me not get. But when I tell the story, you'll see. Like, I was like, you know what? I was like, Sheridan, we're good friends and everything. I'm gonna go and start speaking to this girl, And then she was like to me, I don't know how I feel about that.
My girl.
No, my girl. I'm just like, but here's that moment. I don't know how I feel about that.
And I was like, No, I was being serious because it was getting long. Because it was getting long. It was like, and we were a couple of good friends, and the boys just used to take the mick out of me. The boys were taking the mick out of me. It's getting long.
It's getting long now.
But at least you do the pleasure of the courtesy of telling her.
True.
I'm a polite gentleman, man.
Yeah. It's so true, actually, because some people wouldn't. Let's move on.
Yeah. So, and that's how, like, literally, I came out of the friend zone, and and like as they say, the rest is history.
Okay, and in terms of, so was she around when you were still having seizures at the early days, or were you managing that?
No, she was around. I wouldn't speak to her about it, and like I said, it wasn't just. It was the beginning of the 16. Like, I've got a late birthday, so August. We were actually dating, and I just even wouldn't speak to her about it. I would kind of just shut it down. Wouldn't let her.
So she had no idea in that year of friendship.
No, she knew.
Oh, okay.
But just wouldn't discuss
you just didn't bring it up.
Bring it up. She offered to come to the consultant with me. Shut it down. Because I went with the consultant with my mum the first couple of times. That's a mum, don't want you to come. So I just went by myself.
On your own,
and it was only as we started to get older and when my epilepsy started to get more frequent and stuff like that. Yeah, because I was in and out of hospital.
So Lawrence, how frequent were they happening?
It depends on different times of my life. So between that kind of college kind of years, it was frequent, like at least maybe one every 2 months and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I would have some in the actual classroom, you know, like just there and you know, you wake up and everyone's just like
staring at you,
and like, and in a caring way, like no one ever like took the piss out of me and everything. It was very much, but like I said, you just kept on shutting it down. Then in uni, I had I say first, but kind of severe epileptic attack, which was just consistent. It was going on for back to back, literally like going on for 10 minutes, you know. And there's always a worry when it goes on a prolonged thing of damage to the brain and stuff like that. And so just to give context, is I had got through college, resat, got a placement at university.
Before you go on, what did Mum say when you got those GCSEs?
Oh, she was happy.
Yes, I just had to, because at this point now, Mum must be gassed.
Mum was happy. You know, she was happy.
Yes.
And when I got into university, it was like, you know, you could tell, like, hey, you know.
Bragging my son did that.
Yeah, exactly. And she was like, don't worry, your graduation, let me get my gilly. You know. So,
love it.
Yeah. So no, she was really happy about that. And she was happy that I was moving with people who really wanted to do well
and who cared about you.
Yeah, exactly. And
well, as a parent, you pay attention to who your kids hang out with, right?
Oh my gosh, you know,
you can't always influence.
No,
but you know,
you pay attention.
Yeah, and it's that whole thing, you know, like this is when you know you're getting older, where you start using your mum and parents' phrases. You know, when they go to me, show me your friends, and I will show you who you are. So there we go, you know,
literally.
But you know, in that moment, you're like, I don't really, you know, you don't really appreciate.
No,
it.
you don't.
And as an adult, you go, actually, the thing is so real.
I think when you're young, you don't have the discernment, and not because you're stupid. It's just because you're inexperienced.
No, we're stupid. We're stupid.
Kids are dumb. Kids are dumb. But my point is, I could say to my daughter, I don't like that girl, and she's like, "Mommy, but why?" I ain't gonna say, "Goddamn well, why?" You gonna see it, and when you see it,
when I left, and I remember one point, the thing for me when I was left home, there was a girl that I was hanging out with, and then one day she robbed a man on the road.
Oh my God!
And then I was like,
she could do that to him.
This is not the kind of friendship that I had. And then I was just like, then she was talking about robbing somebody else. And I was just like, hold a minute. Is this what you're on? So I have to give myself props that when I noticed people were really just up to no good, I'd pull myself away.
And that's something of just being aware as just an adult.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, I don't have time for that.
Absolutely.
I don't want to put energy in that. So I'm going to remove myself from that. So yeah.
So you got into university?
Yeah, go to uni.
So yeah, got into uni. And I was in my second year. Yeah, second year. And not resitting, sorry. I've done that.
Yeah.
I got my end of year exams. And one of the things that we found out over time is one of the big factors in my epilepsy, where we kind of linked it to kind of triggers, is sleep deprivation, high stress as well. So those were the two things that we kind of linked it to. And I remember revising hard for my exams and everything.
You were staying up late,
not sleeping, working.
Yeah. And that's when they were happening frequently.
Because I moved out by then.
Yeah.
I moved out because I moved out at 17. I'd moved out then, and yeah, so this siege had gone on for like 10 minutes. They had to sedate me when I got to hospital. And I remember kind of just waking up. And I remember looking at Sheridan and just going. And then going, he goes, you okay? I was like, you're putting a bit of weight in it.
Do you know what? You almost punched you in your arm. You almost punched you in your arm.
Let me let you know where it lands. And this is the first and only time my epilepsy has got me out of trouble. I used it. So when I had woke up,
carry on.
I thought I was back in college. So I had, I had something called retrograde amnesia. Because of the seizures. So like 2 years of my life,
just like that.
gone. So like she looked different, innit?
Yeah.
So like I'm looking at her baffled. So everything's looking like baffled, and you know. So then, kind of like as the conversation goes on, and speaking to people, that was like, oh, this guy don't remember.
Yeah.
You know. So she literally had to take me to uni and go, yeah, this is your uni. You're like, you know these people.
Wow.
You know, like, because I'm like, when someone's coming over to me going, hey, yeah, like, I'm like, you know.
How long does that last?
You know what it is? This is an interesting question that I get a lot of the time. You don't know what you don't know.
Oh.
So memory.
Oh, snap.
So yeah. So like,
I don't know.
Yeah. So I think most of the memories have come back.
Yeah.
But there'll be some points where I'll be speaking to friends. I'm like, I have no recollection.
What you're talking about?
Of that, you know.
Crazy.
So and this is a testament of a woman that she is. So so for some reason, like when I was.
Did you go to the same uni?
No, different unis. Different unis.
So she's left her uni.
Yeah, but we're both in London.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, both in London. We both stayed in London. So when I went to go speak to my uni and I got all the doctors and everything, and so this is what had happened, and like was confirmed I had retrograde amnesia. My uni was like, okay, no problem. We'll let you just resit the whole year.
Yeah.
And they were like, we're not going to charge you anything for it.
Oh,
you know?
wow.
Can you imagine a uni not charging anything? That's another story. So, but I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I said to them, no, I don't want to do that. Because I already thought I was behind in life from failing my GCSEs. So I then said, you know what? I was like, can I just resit in the summer? And they were like, but you don't remember anything. I said, no, I'll learn it. So I learned it.
Wow.
So it wasn't revision. It was learning the content for the first time.
And you did it?
Yeah. I'm not going to say to you that I passed amazingly. It's not like a Hollywood end to the story.
But you did it.
No,
but I did enough
it.
to get into the third year. But on top of that, which really kind of only recently spoke about, is I had a placement year in the city where I'd gone through interviews and rounds to get it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't obviously fulfill it because of that.
Yeah.
But I still wanted to do, and they called it back in the day, a sandwich year.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up going back to my old school.
Elephant Castle?
No, not that one.
He said, not that one.
Yeah.
He said, I still remember the Catholic one,
Yeah.
I had a feeling, but I just thought I'd just, you know.
Yeah, sorry. I ended up going back to that school and being an IT technician for that whole year. And I only think about it is, why did I go back to the school that I caused trouble in, that I failed my GCSEs?
God had a plan.
That as well, but, and that only, it's like the age of me reflecting on it is because that's where I felt safe. Do you see what I mean? So like you think about this and you don't realize it's actually, I actually felt safe there. So I went back to that school.
Was there a lot of the teaching staff that you knew?
Yeah.
Still
So
there?
yeah, some of the teaching staff that I knew were still there. And actually a shout out to a guy called Marlon Robinson, who actually was my first mentor and helped me through difficult times in my life. And that's how I actually got into teaching. Because I went back there as an IT technician, but then I saw young boys making the same mistakes I was making.
Yeah.
And I just remember just speaking to them and just doing that. And then they started coming up to my office during lunchtime and break time, and they were sitting there and just like have conversation, behave.
Because they could relate.
Yeah, I think so.
Some level they could, yeah.
And I remember the head teacher just walking past, and there was like this group of boys in there. Some of them were sitting on the desk and everything. Yeah. And she walks past and she goes, Mr. Johnny, is everything okay? And I'm like, yeah, okay. And I'm thinking, oh man, I'm in trouble, man. Like I've not registered this club. I've not done. And she catches up with me a couple of days later, and she was like, "How did you do that?" I was like, "What do you mean?" She goes, "How have you got these boys who are causing trouble around the school to sit down and listen to you?" And I was like, I didn't have the answers. Like, I don't know. And she goes, and she said something to me. And she was like, I think you should be a teacher. I think God's given you a calling to become a teacher. And I remember being arrogant at that time and going, nah, I ain't teaching.
It's not for me.
It's not for me. I'm just trying to like get through this year, get through uni, fill out requirements, and I'm going off to the city, you know. But she goes, okay, I've got a whole year to work on you. And
I like her.
And to be fair, she didn't have to do that much working, because the more and more I stayed in that school and worked with them, I found that actually
you saw the value.
I saw the value and I saw the impact and loved it. And like again, you realize as you get older that there are certain people that have played a fundamental role in your career and your trajectory, and you only clock it a bit later. But because she was able to say to me, you know what, and this was the final fact, because I had a web design business on the side, she was like, you work 4 days and I'll give you 1 day to work on your business. And that kind of was, and I was graduating in 2008 where the financial crisis was.
Wow.
So I was like, actually, this works for me. So so that's how I got into teaching.
So you're a teacher now. You've been teaching for, I think you mentioned, up to 10 years.
Yeah.
Your wife's teaching. You guys have moved in together at this point?
Yeah, we moved in together.
Okay. So life's going great, fundamentally. Everything's going well. And then you have a massive seizure at school. Yeah,
so like life was going really well. Like, you know, my epilepsy was under control. I had plans to go on to be a head teacher and everything. And then 12 years ago, it was the last day of term, summer term. And we had booked a holiday to go to the Dominican Republic, you know. So and by this stage, I'm a head of faculty now.
Big man.
Yeah.
So remember, this is the boy, he didn't have no GCSE.
Yes, it's
true. So I become a head of faculty, and I was about to escort my year group of site. And like, I was like, don't talk to me. Go and be a parent's problems for 6 weeks, you know? Yeah. So I get back to my office and I was like, let me pack up a few things, get things sorted. And then like, I didn't get a normal aura. And we were talking about this before. Normally I get an aura like a taste of like metal. And I'm normally able to put myself down in a recovery position and phone people or everything, but I didn't get that kind of aura with it. So I'm in my office, and you kind of got like, as this door here is, so you got a door and then you got like a glass pane where you can just see into it, right? And essentially you can only get into the offices if you've got a swipe card and you've been given permission to do that. And remember, this is the last day of term, so like some of the staff are like having their leaving drinks and a few things, so like there's not that many people around. Some people just run to get to the airport, you know. But anyway,
you do that so they run straight to the airport.
So, sometimes. Like, you got to get the best deals, man. So you see some teachers that come into school, their suitcases, like, you know, and they're ready to go, you know. But they tend to be the younger teachers. But anyway, I'm in my office now, just doing a few things, and like there's this gap in between my desk, about that bit, and the wall. But when I fall kind of with my neck into the corner of the gap. So I'm like that. Ooh. And then I'm seizing.
Oh, God. And so you're hitting it?
Yeah, exactly. Oh. So I'm hitting it, you know. But as you know, when you're seizing, you don't feel anything. You see what I mean? So I'm seizing. And I don't know how long it went on for, but by the time someone had spotted me, they couldn't then get into the room.
Because they needed the swipe key to get in.
You see what I mean? So, so I don't know how long I was there. Again, it was a prolonged one. They had to blue light me to hospital. They had to sedate me as well. I had the whole kind of neck brace on and everything, you know, because of the whole thing. And when I woke up, and, you know, it's really like when you wake up from a seizure, it's like you've done a whole, like, a kettlebell exercise class. Your muscles are hurting, everything. You're just so tired.
You're so tensed up, right?
Exactly. But it was different this time because I'm like, Number was like, well, I got neck brace on. They're like, okay. But like, I could feel the pain up here, and I could, you know, around there and everything. I'm like, something feels different. And I'm like, whoa. I can't feel my legs. And I remember screaming and crying.
Imagine panicking. I can imagine.
Yeah, totally.
And then, they had to sedate me.
What, they had to sedate you again from the...
Yeah, because
because you're now shocked.
Because I'm freaking out.
I'm just asking you, were they aware that you had issues with your legs, or was it something if you hadn't verbalized, they wouldn't have known?
I think it's the whole thing of like, they think it's quite normal, like with the whole thing. They were going to do a CT scan because of my head, but I think it was that whole thing of like announcing, like, you know, because I was
aware of it now.
I was unconscious. Do you see what I mean? And then they were like, I did all the tests, and I'm like, couldn't move my toes and stuff like that, you know, and everything.
So what happened?
They don't know. Literally, they don't know. Like they don't know. So when I wake up the second time, I knew it was serious. Yeah. Because I hadn't been in this room before. Like, it was the
So you're in a different room now at this point?
I was in a high dependency ward. Like, and like the high dependency ward is like, you have 2 nurses, you know, you have one at the end of your bed, who
All
doesn't move.
Yeah.
You see me? Just and they're doing the obs there, and I'm like, yo, this is different.
Yeah.
Serious.
This is serious, you know, serious. And so days go like, and it only lasted for like 3 days.
Thank God.
Yeah. But I remember just people going back and like family come to see you and not really talking, and you're like, the doctors are coming and seeing you, they're testing your legs out again, they're turning you down to MRI because they're like not sure what's going on here, blah 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 blah. And I just remember like just being very quiet and sullen and kind of just going, I want to ask them a question. I'm like, I don't really want to know the answer. You know, so I pipe up maybe on the second day, I think it might be, and I go, am I going to be able to walk again? And like typical doctor speak, let's take it one day at a time.
Oh, that's so annoying. Really?
But like they didn't know.
No, of course,
they didn't know.
it. Of course, in your own head as a human being, it's just, you know,
And I just remember just sitting there and just going, yo, like at one point, like someone said, I thought you were going to die. Like, you know, because you don't realize how ill you look until you look back on pictures.
Yeah.
And also the reaction of other people
when they see
you. And you're like, yo, ain't that bad. You know? And I was just like, and I remember just like at night just going, when it was quiet and just going, rah, I was going to go and do this tomorrow. I was going to go and do that tomorrow. And I was just like, yo, if this is my life, you know, where are we going? Like, am I going to make it to tomorrow? You start to think about these questions here, you know, and you're just like, whoa. And I think that's the bit like really kind of landed of who I am today. Like, I'll be honest with you, in terms of kind of the empathy piece, the understanding and just taking time and actually enjoying life and being appreciative and being grateful for it, because life can just change like that in a flash. I remember I was meant to be flying to the Dominican Republic. I ain't going. I'm in St. Thomas's Hospital in a high dependency ward. So feeling came back, but when it came back with some vengeance. You know, oh my gosh.
Pain.
When I say
really?
Serious.
It came back on like the 3rd day, and it was just like pain I'd never experienced in my life. I remember crying, saying, Lord, take this pain away from me. The way I can describe it is like someone taking a chisel to my knees and just going boom, boom, boom. I remember crying, like they had to like, again, so take me again. It's like, I sound like a mad person.
No,
but it was literally
not at all.
But like the pain was crazy, you know.
So Lawrence, how long did that pain last for?
It's still here today, man.
Whoa.
Like, so
12 years later?
Yeah, 12 years later. Yeah, so I have something called chronic pain syndrome as well. So
what is that?
It's just like they can't explain what's causing it. So what they think it is actually my brain has never recovered from it. So it's sending pain receptors.
So to your legs?
Knees, yeah, to my knees.
To your knees?
Yeah, so like, maybe it was like it jump started, but it keeps on trying to jump start it. That's probably the easiest way to kind of say it. So I've been in pain every day since that. Like it goes from different levels to being like, okay, it's manageable, to I can't get out of bed.
Yeah.
So I was in hospital for like, was it like 4 to 5 weeks? Sheridan knows the details. Yeah. So just in hospital, and
Did you walk at that point?
I was like because I was in bed for so long, I had to relearn to walk. You know,
so remember the guest we had before.
So is it atrophy or just you just had to relearn because
you relearn? Yeah, like in terms of like the physio, I was doing hydrotherapy and X, Y, and Z. I was on a large amount of painkillers. Like at one day, like me and Shirley used to laugh at like, boy, if they were to shake me, I'd rattle and start all the painkillers. You know, like literally, it was like this tablet. I literally like at the age of I can't remember how I was, but anyway, like I had this thing where you have the different tablets for each time.
The container with the different,
And I remember on Sunday, like I was thinking like, boy, like all the tablets on the table. I'm watching Match of the Day. I'm watching soccer or whatever.
Yeah.
Super Sunday, and I'm putting tablets in. like probably had some like I'm a trap star.
You spun it, you know.
So you're like what? 26, 27?
Yeah. So and me and Sharon living together at that point, and I went through periods of like dark depression because I was just like, you know what? Because I was like I'm normally an independent person who moved out at 70, and your independence is taken away from you. You know, you're having to get people to drive you to loads of appointments. You know, And actually, one of my good friends who lived around the corner, and she was an year below me, and her granddad, me and him would go. He would pick me up, and he was suffering of cancer then, and he would take me to the doctors because Sheridan was at work and everything. And people used to like be so baffled because it was this white Irish man with a walking stick. And then a black young guy with a walking stick as well. Yeah, or like the steps of crutches, of literally walking in. They're like, how the hell did these guys know each other?
How did this happen?
Yeah, so he was like, who'd like take me to my appointments and stuff like that. And I say this, the reason why I kind of felt into that depression was when you're in the hospital, people come and check on you. They know there's something wrong with you. But the moment you get discharged from hospital, oh yeah, he's healed.
Yeah.
But actually that was the most difficult time and probably where I needed people the most, but I didn't know how to ask for people to come and see me, you know? So I remember like, I was very stubborn in terms of like, oh yeah, like, I know I'm going to walk again. I was told, make sure you're using your walking aids, keep your phone with you. And then I went to the toilet, and then I was trying to come back without walking aids, and my legs would just give way.
You don't have your phone. You left your phone.
And then I just couldn't move. So I was there until like my wife came back from work, and she just found me on the floor. So this is why I just go, you know what? Yeah, honestly, like I take my hat off to Sheridan. I think other women, and then she's at that age, like 26.
Yeah, do you know what?
Actually, like I love you, but this ain't for me.
Right?
I was going to bring it up.
I ain't signed up to be a carer.
Yeah.
Like, you see what I mean?
But that's testament to how much she loves you.
Yeah, 100%.
Knowing Sheridan, I can say that I do know Sheridan. Sheridan is a force to be reckoned with.
Oh yeah.
She's a force majeure. Like she's a force to be reckoned with. I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So she was there like through the ups and downs. And actually, if you think about it, when you go back to why are you like that as a husband?
I get it.
Because you
Makes
know what?
total sense.
If someone has seen me at my worst and has always been there, and she's asking me to do a certain things, and I come to her, that's a minor.
I've got you, babe.
So actually, I hadn't thought about it. So that's where it actually stems from.
That makes sense.
Do you see what I mean? So.